What's going on, people in YouTube land? KimchiChris here, and welcome to today's brand new video. And for today's video, we are going to be reviewing the KISS End of the Road Tour 2019. Now, I first got to experience this tour about a week ago as of the recording of this video, February 23rd, 2019 in Memphis, Tennessee at the FedEx Forum. And spoiler alert, it was a really good time. It was really fun. I had a great time. If you want more of a vlog type video, go check out the video that I recently put up where it is basically a vlog of the show. You get to see a lot of the experience stuff, and it was all shot on an iPhone, you know, real like unprofessional style, things like that. That's what that video is for. But this one, we're really going to take a deep dive and talk about the show, the set list, the pyrotechnics, all kinds of stuff. So if you really are ready to talk about End of the Road for, you know, an excessive amount of time perhaps, let's do this right now. Now, we're not going to talk about necessarily the set list song by song by song and all those kinds of things. You can look that up on setlist.film, but I am going to talk about some of the highlights, some of the cool visual stuff, some of the good parts of the show, as well as anything that's bad. And the first bad part of the show, honestly, was how it kind of started. And I don't really mean the KISS part of it. So you see, my show was one of the few that does not feature David Garibaldi, the painter, as an opening act, and that's fine. I'm okay not getting to see him on this. I have a couple more stops, and you know, even if I missed out on the guy, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But here's the thing that was annoying. The show was scheduled to start at 7:30, so they opened the doors at 6:30, and everybody was rushing in, trying to get to their seats, trying to get in there, and 7:30 comes around and, you know, no sign of KISS. Everyone assumed it was just going to be an evening with KISS type of situation, which would have been awesome, and it was awesome, and that's what happened. But here's the part that left a little bit of negativity early on. So for whatever reason, they just decided to keep the schedule similar to had there been an opening act. So even though the show was scheduled to start at 7:30, KISS didn't go on till a little bit after 9, even with the doors opening at 6:30. So I imagine anybody that, you know, shoved their way through the crowds and got in there on the dot at 6:30 was even more irritated than me. I mean, we were just sitting around going, when's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? When is it gonna happen? When are we going to see KISS? But just as the guy in the unflattering plastic Gene Simmons mask was reaching his height of annoyance near me and was getting just more annoying to everyone around him, we finally heard the familiar and very welcome sounds of Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin coming over the PA at full blast, and we all knew what was about to happen. And we finally heard the familiar words of, "All right, Memphis, you wanted the best, you got the best, the hottest band in the world, KISS." And there were explosions, and the curtain fell down, and there was smoke, and there was energy, and there was fire, and there was KISS descending from the rafters like the superhumans that they are, and Detroit Rock City was blaring full blast. You couldn't even hear parts of it because there were so many explosions. Boom, 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 explosions everywhere. People were going insane. There was a war on stage. There was a battle in the audience. It was amazing. It was everything it should be. It was a KISS show. And that was just the first 2 minutes of this 2-hour plus show. So as they descended and finally landed on the stage, the smoke and the pyro didn't stop. The Detroit Rock City didn't stop. The energy didn't stop. Everyone was pumped. This was KISS. This was the moment everybody was waiting for. It didn't matter if this was your first time seeing them or your 1,000th time seeing them. These were your heroes. They were on stage, and the venue was pumped. And from there, they went straight into Shout It Out Loud, followed by Deuce, followed by Say Yeah, and just a whole treasure trove of hits. And yeah, the band doesn't play any of their deep cuts on these big arena shows, or for the most part, any time anymore, it seems. But with that being said, it makes sense. I mean, when they started playing Calling Dr. Love in particular, something that had just been thrown into the set that was left out in the early shows for some reason, the crowd just erupted with energy, and it makes sense why they play these songs. I mean, all these people around me, some of them were, you know, 80 years old, and some were 8 years old, and we were all just dancing, singing, having a good time. This was KISS, and this is how it should be done. And as the show was really getting going and starting, you were really just taking everything in. One of the things you just can't ignore here is this stage. This stage is just amazing looking. It's really hard to take the whole thing in from the angle I was at. I was like 4th row center, and it probably looks even better from further away, but it looked incredible up close, and it's just, there's stuff everywhere. I mean, those video screens that just move and do stuff, they're amazing. There's pyro coming out of every angle, every orifice. It's just explosions everywhere. I mean, they spared no expense on this thing. The cranes, the lifts, everything. I mean, this is a big, over-the-top KISS show. Anybody that says this stage sucks, what's wrong with you? Are you even a KISS fan? I mean, I hate to be one of those kind of guys. Maybe you're in it more for the music. Maybe you only like the 70s stuff. That's fine. But this stage is cool. If you don't like this stage, I mean, you're nitpicking. It's everything a KISS stage should be in 2019 and more. And I know a lot of people have talked about this already, but one of the visual highlights of the show is definitely God of Thunder. I mean, Gene comes out on one of the pedestal things, and it rises up, it goes into the rafters. He doesn't really do the fly thing, he just kind of rides it up there. And once he's up there, all the video screens have these weird, just simultaneous faces of Gene going and singing along. And at one point they move, and the big screen behind has this just like real demonic thunder and this big face of Gene. And it's just something to behold. It's just the ultimate way to experience Gene. I couldn't even see him at the top from how close I was, but I can imagine if you could see him up there, it was even better. Further away, that's one that might have been key to see from a bit further away, but even up close, it was just so phenomenal, taking it all in, and all the energy and all the aura of the demon in his full flesh and blood, of course. And it was Kiss, so of course they did all their tricks. There was fire breathing, there was blood spitting, there was flying across the crowd, there were explosions shot off of guitars, there were levitating drum sets, there were all these things. It was everything and more that you come to expect from a Kiss show. And I know I might sound like a broken record just repeating how cool it was and how great it was, but this tour is just so awesome. You gotta see it. You really gotta see it in person. I mean, these YouTube videos really didn't do it justice. I was excited to see it. Don't get me wrong. I was very, very excited to see this, but after I saw it in person, it was a whole different perspective. I really, really hope that they do a Blu-ray release of this in nice, you know, HD, 4K, fancy schmancy, whatever, because this thing needs to be put on, you know, a recording, a visual recording of that. The audio, whatever, that's cool. The audio is great. They sounded great, but they need to have a visual representation of this thing to go down in history and always immortalize this. But as I'm kind of going in circles here, since I didn't write out a script or anything, let's talk about the songs again for a second. So, you know, they opened with Detroit Rock City, Shout It Out Loud, Deuce, and kind of went from there with all the hits. But some of the highlights of the show were surprising to me. One of them being War Machine, a song that I honestly had gotten kind of bored with in recent years because I have played it and played it and played it over and over and over again, but it had a new energy and a new fire, specifically with Gene breathing fire at the end. So that was really cool. Another one was 100,000 Years, a song they haven't been playing regularly for quite a while at this point. It had a new energy to it, and it had some drama and everything, and it was just a great addition to the set. Another highlight, Do You Love Me being near the end was surprisingly cool. It was just a fun song to have near the end of the set, and just seemed like the guys were having a good time. Let Me Go Rock and Roll was also really awesome. It seemed like the guys had a little bit of room to improv on that one and jammed out a little bit, so that's always a cool thing to see. And honestly, even Beth was really fun because, you know, you have Eric coming out of the center of the stage on a very glittery, very Elton John looking piano playing maybe, and singing, probably playing though, and singing it very well. And that was just a cool way to do that song. They're gonna do the song we've all heard 1,000 times. Doing something very different visually and even just audio-wise was a good thing to do, in my opinion. That gets a thumbs up all around. And of course, even though we're all sick of rock and roll all night, it's always a great way to end the show with all the confetti going everywhere, and these big balloons, and these streamers, and explosions, and Gene and Tommy going on these big cranes that go all the way to the back of the arena. I mean, I didn't even try to get video and photos of those because I couldn't from how close I was, but trust me, these guys are just zooming all over the place like the superheroes that they are. And at this point, I could talk another 20 minutes, another, you know, hour, another 2 hours, another 3 hours about how good this was. And I know I sound just like an infomercial for the tour, but I implore you, if you're a Kiss fan, go check this show out. If you're not a Kiss fan, first of all, how have you made it this far in the video? Props to you, but your mind won't be changed. If you are a Kiss fan, you gotta go to it. You're gonna regret it if you don't. Your friend's gonna go and tell you how much of an idiot you were. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what's real on the tour. It doesn't matter what's fake on the tour. The show itself speaks for itself in volume when you're there at the show itself. So just go see it, go check it out. Take your friends, take your family, take your enemies, check out the Kiss End of the Road tour. It's an incredible experience that you will not regret and you will not soon forget. And that about does it. This was a very weird review, I realize in hindsight, because I didn't really go in a structure. And all I really said were positive things, but there was really nothing negative to say outside of that really weird intro to the night with no opening act, but still like an hour and a half of just silence. That's the only negative I really have about it though, because it was that good. I'm going to be seeing this a couple more times. I'm not going to do a review of every show, even though I'll probably do a vlog about each of the experiences. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely hit that subscribe button below. Hit the alarm so you get the updates. And let me know in the comments below, have you checked out the End of the Road tour? What did you think of it? Are you going to check it out? Are you excited? Are you mad? Are you sad? Are you happy? What is it? Let me know in the comments below. Once again, my name is KimchiChris, and thank you guys so very much for watching this video. We'll see you on the next one.